All right, 6 o'clock. In case you're just joining us, good morning. Crews right now are fighting flames at the MTK Mart on West Lake Street in South Minneapolis.
Eva Anderson's on the scene for us right now. We're going to check in with her for an update. Eva, I know it's been hard to gather information this morning because crews are so busy putting out that massive fire. But have you learned anything new?
Well, I actually have been speaking with some neighbors, and they tell me that this has been really almost just surreal for them, because some of them remember this Kmart coming up and being one of the first places in the area they could come get groceries. And as I step aside here, you can see it is still up in flames. They do have aerial water towers shooting water down onto the top of the building. We know this is an exterior defensive battle. There is the way they're taking this on, which means it is just too dangerous to go inside, and it's too big. The building is boarded up. We do know that. They said that they have been had to call.
Yeah, it looks like we're having issues with Eva's mic out there. We're going to try to reconnect with her in just a few minutes. But again, you see this live picture of crews dousing water on these flames at this vacant Kmart building. Again, a 35W just off of Lake Street. This fire has been burning for the better part of an hour now. A number of crews on scene trying to get this knocked down.
Yeah, better part of an hour, and it does not seem to be getting any better either. These are still, the same level of flames, certainly same amount of smoke as we've seen really going on an hour now, as you mentioned, Jason.
Yeah, right now crews are in an exterior defense fire attack. So they're attacking it from the outside, not the inside. They're working on also setting up additional water towers as well, just trying to get this under control.
And there's a long history here of this vacant Kmart building. Of course, anyone familiar with that area of Minneapolis, that story knows that. Megan's been digging into it for us this morning. Now, Megan, what have you learned?
Yeah, so as you said, Jen, this is a very long history at this vacant Kmart in Minneapolis. Demolition was scheduled to initially begin last fall, but it keeps getting pushed back. The store opened back in 1978, and then it closed in 2020. So the city then bought that building and made the decision to tear it down. It's a plan the city has talked about for decades. Since then, it has been a U.S. Postal Service office, but has been mostly vacant. The city is calling this new effort, it'll be called the New Nicollet Avenue Project, a 10-acre site located at the north side of Lake and Nicollet intersection. Now, in a video on the city website, staff say the plan was to tear down both the former Kmart and Super Value buildings and then reconnect Nicollet Avenue. Obviously, a lot of questions still as far as, how that project will look and what things will look like now that it is in flames. Jen and Jason.
Yeah, sure thing. Thank you, Megan. We do want to check in on the traffic along 35W there. This is a MnDOT camera overlooking 35W. And as you can see, the flames from this fire are visible, and certainly the smoke is as well. The good news, though, for people commuting along 35W, it's not impacting traffic. I don't believe, at least from this vantage point, that the smoke is making its way, at least in any heavy capacity, onto the roadway there on 35W. And we're also not seeing slowdowns with people stopping or slowing down to see what's going on off the side of the interstate there. So far, 35W does appear to be running smoothly. Again, though, we do want to note the roads and the side streets along that vacant Kmart building are blocked off, understandably, as the crews work to put out this fire. So if you do go to work or anywhere else this morning in the area along West Lake Street where that vacant Kmart building is, just be aware you're gonna come across some blocked off roads. All right, now the time is 6:04, and we are gonna head over to John for Check of the Forecast.
Hey, thanks, Jen. We are looking at some fog right now across the area. Crystal over to Blaine. So if you're on the north side of the metro, give yourself a little extra time. And that continues up 35, up 169, even Osceola at 0.3. So you can see that fog goes up into Brainerd, Grand Rapids. So at Wilmer, once again, back-to-back days with dense fog. And that is because we've cleared out today. Temperatures are dropping, especially around the cities. Blaine at 41, 40 in St. Cloud, 37 in Cambridge. So low 40s, definitely grab a coat this morning. It will mix out as we go into the afternoon. We'll start to warm up here. There we go. 39 in Grand Rapids. There's your cold spot. 36 in Brainerd. Temperatures today, nice warm up, especially once you hit noon. And it also looks like we're going to have light winds. So that is also key. Southwest winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour today. And a high 66 degrees. What a day.
All right, John, thank you very much. We are tracking another developing story coming out of the White House right now.
Yeah, in just a few hours, the president will ask Congress for $100 billion to increase support to Israel and Ukraine. We broke down how that $100 billion will be spent. $60 billion of it would be aid to Ukraine. The rest would go to Israel, Taiwan, and the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, this would be paid for with American tax dollars. In the president's primetime pitch to the country last night, he said it's our responsibility to help our allies.
We cannot and will not let terrorists like Hamas and tyrants like Putin win. I refuse to let that happen. In moments like these, we have to remember who we are. We are the United States of America.
Now, it seems like this is going to be a tough sell for some progressive Democrats on Israel and for some conservative Republicans on Ukraine. While they don't agree on much, both groups say the money isn't worth the violence and could be spent elsewhere. The president has said up to 20 trucks loaded with desperately needed food, water, and medicine could cross from Egypt into Gaza as soon as today. Now, the Democratic-controlled Senate is expected to act quickly to pass the supplemental funding, a move which could put pressure on House Republicans to sort out their leadership issues and end the legislative logjam in that chamber.
The president last night intertwined Ukraine in his speech, saying it is dire. The U.S. keeps supporting the country in its war against a Russian invasion. Ukrainians we spoke with say the president's speech is giving them hope, as it's been over 600 days since their country was invaded.
I'm very proud to say that Ukrainians are so brave. Oh my God. Very sad also to admit that people are getting used to war.
That's Irina Petras. She works at the Ukrainian Center in community outreach. She recently visited Ukraine and survived a bombing while she was there. She says she is thankful to have found asylum here in Minnesota and understands the trauma those in the Middle East are experiencing.
Well, taking you out to Washington, D.C. right now, I mentioned that legislative logjam. In less than 3 hours, Republicans will vote for a third time on the next speaker. Less than 24 hours ago, Republican Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan failed to get enough support, delaying yesterday's vote. Jordan's chances are getting slimmer by the day as several members of the GOP are talking about other options. Florida Representative Matt Gaetz says he's getting frustrated with members of his own party blocking Jordan's push.
I think a reasonable question to those that are holding out and not voting for Jordan is, what are you fighting for? What are your goals? What are your objectives here other than just recalcitrance?
Now, it's been more than 2 weeks since Gaetz helped oust former Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Now McCarthy and other Republicans are supporting interim Speaker North Carolina Congressman Patrick McHenry. All right, 6:07, just to reset here in case you're just joining us right now, crews are fighting flames at that empty Kmart store over on West Lake Street in South Minneapolis.
Yeah, and Eva is on the scene. We're going to take a look at the camera that's out with her right now just to show you what's going on. These flames, I think it's fair to say, the last hour or so that this fire's been going on, they have not tampered down.
Not at all.
This fire's still going strong. The smoke is billowing, billowing black smoke there. What we've learned from Minneapolis Fire Departments on X, formerly known as Twitter, the updates that they have put out, they are fighting this fire from the outside. They're not sending crews in. Obviously, you take one look at that fire, it's understandable why they're choosing to do it that way. They do have multiple ladder trucks, as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, that are shooting water down at the fire. We do know there's at least one wall that has collapsed inside that building.
On the rear wall of the building, yes.
Thank you, Jason. Again, they're blocking off streets around this building as they fight this fire. So if this is in your neighborhood, this is maybe the area where you work, be aware of that. Definitely some roads blocked off as they continue to fight this fire. And I think it is fair to say that this is going to be a firefight that continues for some time.
Thankfully, it was an abandoned building, so no word of any injuries. Hopefully there aren't any injuries. It's unsure whether maybe there were unhoused people taking refuge inside of that Kmart, with it being such a chilly night. A lot still unknown right now. Again, working on getting information from crews.
Yeah, and Eva's doing that for us right now. But for now, 6:09, we do want to talk about